Hi YouTube, how you going? This is just a little vlog video about my Pokemon TCG career, which I started probably about 6 years ago. Definitely in the XY series um, is when I started playing, um, and I've loved it ever since. Like I've played probably more in the learning stage for about a year. And then I got really competitive into it. Um, just went to weekly hobby competitions that were hosted at a old card store called Blast from the Past. Very, very memorable shop. Like when you go to your first card shop and you play your tournaments there for God knows how long. And yeah, I really do miss the place. Like we used to get a good turnout, like a good 30 people at least a week. And it was a good time. But I'll just tell you guys a bit about myself because I haven't posted a video on my channel about that yet. Um, so I won my first like little hobby tournament, I could call it. Really, I haven't really played in many big events in person, but I have online, which has been pretty fun. But I'll get to that a little bit later on. Um, so won my first hobby tournament when about my second year, and then when like Guzzlord, I won with a deck called Guzzlord GX. Um, and I just had a lot of luck with it. Like when other people play it, they didn't play it well. Like they didn't get everything that you needed to set up the deck and all that. And I somehow managed to make the deck work for me. And I played it for quite a long time in that era. So that was my first ever tournament win, which, to be honest with you, just made me want to be more competitive. Like of course everyone wants to be more competitive in a TCG game or any game really. Um, and yeah, it changed my way of how I play Pokemon. Um, and I won a few tournaments after that. And then I left, not really left the community. Like I wanted to try different games as well. I still played Pokemon on the odd occasion, but tried out a different deck after Guzzlord because it just got boring. And that's what you're meant to do. Like if you get bored of a deck or if you think it's not working for you, make a different deck. It's like honestly, I've played the same deck that I'm playing now for a wee while, but it's only because it's good. Like I'm not gonna go and build a different deck until Shining fades. So that's not far away. Um, yeah, so I went to Yu-Gi-Oh for a little bit, and I don't think I ever won a tournament of Yu-Gi-Oh from what I can remember, or even be up there. But I played Yu-Gi-Oh because it was fun. Like I played it for nostalgic feels, if you get what I mean. Like when you grow up as a kid and you had like these blue eyes white dragons and you had these red eyes and you had all the Egyptian god cards. And everyone at school wanted to like be your friend because you had them. So those were fun times, and to go and see how the game was played properly and see some top notch players around New Zealand and meet them. That was a very good experience, but unfortunately, I wasn't ever really good at the game. Even to this day, I'm probably still not good at the game, but I play it because it's fun. I don't play Yu-Gi-Oh to be competitive. Um, so going on to the online side of Pokemon, discovered that around Team Up, when Team Up came out, um, and it was different. Like I feel like the game is a little bit rigged, if you get what I mean. Like um, you can make this deck the exact same as yours in real life, and your one that in real life is consistent, but the one online might not be, if you get what I mean. And you just top deck the exact same card of what you've got in your hand. You've already got four of them. So that's what's quite disappointing with that game. But apart from that, it's a really good game. Um, versing worldwide players, playing on tournaments, and all that, like knockout tournaments, Players Cup, which has gone recently, and seeing like actual card stores around this pandemic era, um, actually host them. Like they've got like physical online players around their card shops around the world, and they've produced tournaments for them, and I think that's really really cool. Like props to, I think it's RK9, the site that you like register your decks and you find the tournaments for them. And I think that's a really good thing for everyone, especially around this pandemic time when it's like you haven't got the chance to go to the World Championships from last year, even this year. Worlds have been cancelled this year, so um, yeah, it's really really good. Um, Other tournaments that I've placed in, haven't won a lot of the bigger tournaments that we used to host, and even still get hosted today. But I, unfortunately, due to some stuff that I will admit, like I messed up on. I was a bit of a, I wasn't really the nicest person back then, and I'll admit that. Um, so that's pretty much why I don't compete in the scene anymore. But I hope to around other parts of New Zealand in the future. But yeah, anyway, so I won a tournament that we hosted here a few years ago called Memes. And Memes tournaments essentially like you can make a good deck out of a card that is like memeful. So it's like if it's funny or the card's attack is funny or whatever it is. And I played Miltank, which is, it had, I think it was a Lost Thunder one, and it has 60. It does 60 damage plus the amount of Moo Milk you have in your hand. So you have 4 Moo Milk in your hand. You do 240 damage, which at that time knocked out anything really apart from tag teams. And I played that in a combo with Eevee and Snorlax GX, which was really really fun, and it was like a welder based deck. So yeah, I ended up winning that. Um, Placed fourth in the Christchurch Championships. I think it was that same year. And I played Reshiram and Charizard with Trade Zoroark, and I think I had Mewtwo and Mew. Not 100%. No, I did. Excuse me. And yeah, so I placed fourth on that, which was a really good experience. And then just from there, I placed like on the podiums, like second in the expanded series that was hosted last year, I think it was. Yeah, last year. And that was just such a good 5 week series, like just seeing the amount of quality of players that have come from when I started to now, and what some of the players that I know from back then to what they were last year is just brilliant. They stepped up that high of a level. They were bloody good. So to the deck that I'm playing now is, if you haven't guessed it, or if you're new to the channel, it is Zacian ADP. And if you're brand new to this TCG game and you have no idea what Zacian ADP is, go search it up. It's probably one of the best decks in format at the moment. I don't think it will be for very long though, because the Arceus, Dialga, and Palkia card is getting rotated at the end of this year, I'm pretty sure. So the deck will be around for this year, but then it's gone. So anyway, this here is the card right there. This is the Arceus, Dialga, and Palkia. I know it's not the best of shots, so I'll read it to you guys. So Ultimate Ray for 150. Set your deck for any 3 basic energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon any way you like. So that's what you use afterwards. But this card is used for an attack called Ultra Creation, which for 1 Steel Energy, for the rest of the game you are doing 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon before applying weakness and resistance. If this card has 1 extra water energy attached to it, in addition to this attack cost, when your opponent's active Pokemon is knocked out, you take an extra prize card. So essentially you want to get that Ultra Creation move off as quickly as possible, and then you go and smash for 180 damage with Ultimate Ray, because of course you're doing an extra 30 more. So Then you put energy onto this boy. You put him onto Zacian. So you find yourself with 3 steel energy, and you put them straight on there. And unless you haven't found any with Intrepid Sword already, then you can start setting up on other Pokemon that you've got on the field, maybe like a Zamazenta V right here, which has an ability called Dauntless Shield, will prevent all attacks from VMAX Pokemon. So that's not really good for me because I do play a VMAX Pokemon, and if someone has a Zamazenta on field and I've got my VMAX on field, a little bit screwed. But if you've got a card called Boss's Orders in your deck, and you can switch that card out. And this is the VMAX I play. It is Aegislash. He's not really useful for me until the late game, but I still want to get him set up so I can use him late game. So his attack is called Max Hack. Does 160 base damage, which is really cool. It's okay, it knocks out its DAGX, which is good. It'll be doing 190 base damage because of Ultra Creation. But this attack does 30 more damage for each prize card you've taken. So that's why it's good for end game, because if you can use it when you've got 1 prize left, they can have any Pokemon out on the field, but it would get knocked out. Because that's around 330, 360 damage. And nothing can survive that really, apart from Sentry Scorch, but yeah. Sentry Scorch would beat this anyway. So yeah, and like, if you guys don't know what draw cards are really, draw support and in this game is essential. You've got to have draw support in all your decks. So this is my Pokemon support. So we've got a copy of the Primate Wisdom Oranguru, and the Primate Wisdom effect is once during your turn you may switch the card from the top of your deck with the card in your hand. So you look at the top card of your deck and you're like, that might help me, and then I can set up maybe a Steel Energy, because then if you're using Zacian's Intrepid Sword, that just goes straight on, you know, so at least you're going to guarantee yourself an energy on that Pokemon. So that's a good card. Crobat V from Darkness Ablaze has the ability called Dark Asset, and it says when you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench, you may draw until you have 6 cards in your hand, and you can only use that effect once per turn. So you can't play 2 Crobats in a turn, because that's just silly, you know. So good attack there. That's a good ability. And pretty much the exact same card, but different. The Dedenne GX came out in Unbroken Bonds, but this is the promo one from the toolkit. And this one here has an ability called Dead Change. And so when you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench, you may discard your hand and draw 6 cards. And you can't use that effect more than once per turn. So 1 draws, 1 discards, and draws 6. So that's pretty good, you know. The deck is really consistent. It's got a variety of different builds, so if you search up the deck and you can be like, okay, maybe that might work better for me. Be comfortable with it, you know. You gotta always feel comfortable with what you play. You know, you can't just go into a game or a tournament or whatever with a deck that you don't know, but you think is good, you know what I mean? So, it's also really about reading your cards and understanding the rules before you go and play in a tournament, because you don't want to go there and get disqualified or like have a game loss because you messed up. And hell, you can still do that. You can still mess up, but you've got to know your rules. You know, you've got to think about, oh, maybe I can't do that. Oh, I've already done that already this turn. I can't do it again. There's stuff like that. So for the future for me, I really hope once this pandemic is over that I can try and get to like an Oceanic Championship or something like that, or leagues, like league tournaments around here. That's something that I really want to do. Want to get to like places like Australia leagues where a former world champion Henry Brand is. I really would like to meet him and get some advice for a kind of amateur Pokemon player like myself. So that would be really cool to do that. and how if I can do that, I'll be going to Worlds. You know, you got to get, I think it's like 500 points or something like that to go to Worlds, and I don't think it's easy. So yeah, that's the plan. Um, there's a few events going down in my home city of Christchurch. They just like try weekly tournaments. I think it's like every month that they go on, but they get really good crowds. At the shop called TCG Collector, really cool place. Um, so for that for now. Um, Coming up on the channel, we've got Shining Fates coming up. In New Zealand, it has been delayed by a month, so it is going to take some time before it gets here. So hopefully we can have it do some packet openings online before we actually open up in person, like we've done on Shining Fates. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. And leave a like, comment what you want to see on the channel. You know, I post different things on here like racing, stuff like that. But of course, if you guys are here for Pokemon, watch my Pokemon videos. I've got a whole lot of them from a few years ago from Hidden Fates and all that. So yeah, thank you very much for enjoying this video, taking your time to watch it. And this is Salazar, peacing out.